Guatemala is a country with a little bit of everything for everyone. Volcano hikes erupting in the night, ancient cities swallowed by the jungle, turquoise pools deep in the forest, and lakeside villages full of colour and some of the best food in the world. Now, I quit my job to travel and make travel guides, and I'm going to give you the ultimate Guatemala itinerary. In 7 days, we're doing 2 days in Antigua, 2 days volcano Acatenango near to Antigua, and 3 days on Lake Atitlan. Here's the full breakdown. Day 1. We start here in Antigua, Guatemala's colonial gem. You normally get here from flying into Guatemala City and then either taking a shuttle bus or a taxi here. Antigua is a good starting point because it's classic Guatemala. Cobbled streets, colourful buildings, and volcanoes overhead. 2 days is really the minimum you want to spend here. Begin day 1 at the Santa Catalina Arch, the most photographed spot in Guatemala. Built in the 1600s so nuns could cross between convent buildings without stepping outside, today it's perfectly framed with a volcano rising behind, and it is literally on all of the postcards. Wander through Parque Central to the cathedral ruins and then to the Artisan market for souvenirs and handicrafts. Love a local market.
What are you looking for?
The way out. It's like amazing here, isn't it?
In the afternoon, join a chocolate-making workshop. The Mayans valued cacao so highly they even used it as currency and in rituals. You see the processing, grinding, and even get to make your own chocolate, which is always the best part.
I want to sort the chili one.
It goes on.
Yeah, please.
Guatemalan chocolate is famous worldwide, so it deserves a day 1 spot. As evening falls, end your night at Café No Sé, a candlelit bar with hidden rooms and an endless mezcal list. Day 2. The next day, hike up to Cerro de la Cruz for the classic grid view of the city, framed by Volcanagua. In the afternoon, take a coffee tour of one of the many fincas or farms surrounding the city. We visited Finca Filadelfia. Depending on the season, you'll see the cherries being picked, beans drying in the sun, and the roasting rooms that smell incredible. You finish with a tasting, learning about why Guatemalan coffee is some of the best in the world. For dinner, book a table at Frida's. And I say book a table because it is very busy. It's bright, buzzing, and check out these tacos. It's one of the best meals you'll ever have in Central America. Day 3. A short ride from Antigua is the Acatenango volcano hike, a truly once-in-a-lifetime experience to watch an active volcano and one of the reasons we actually came to Guatemala.
I've never been inside the crater of a volcano before. That's so cool.
You can book this with one of the many companies in town and they all have varying levels of luxury.
Actually pretty cold.
Climb through farmland and forests until you reach the base camp high above the clouds. Across the valley is Volcán de Fuego. All evening you watch it erupt, lava glowing in the night and ash and smoke rumbling into the sky. It is something really special. Day 4. After your overnight on the mountain at 3 a.m, you push for the summit. It's cold, steep, and when the sun rises, you're standing above the clouds with a chain of volcanoes stretching to the horizon. After descending, return to Antigua briefly, and then take a shuttle bus to Lake Atitlan, your next stop. You can take the shuttle directly to San Pedro La Laguna, one of the major hubs and best spots on the lake. Option 2 if you're backpacking is you can stay at Free Cerveza in Santa Cruz on the other side of the lake, one of the best hostels in the country, and we'll talk more about it a little bit later. Lake Atitlan is one of the most beautiful lakes in the world, with small towns dotted around the lake, each with their own personalities. You cross to the other towns using public boats called lanchas, and they basically just run when they're full.
I can't get over how cool these lanchas are. It's kind of like a water taxi. Just like taking you from place to place, you turn up, you wave your hand, the boat stops. It's kind of like hailing a yellow cab in New York. It's like the Guatemalan equivalent of that.
It's important you're on the right side of the lake because around 5 p.m. the lanchas stop and you'll be forced to take an expensive private boat to cross if you miss this time. Day 5. Wake the next day in San Pedro, a town famous for Spanish schools and coffee, and one of my highlights was riding a horse around the lake. With a local guide, you leave the narrow streets and ride out into the forest.
This is just absolutely wild.
It's like something out of a video game.
This is just mental. I feel like an actual cowboy.
Take a short tuk-tuk 10 minutes away to explore the nearby lake town of San Juan, the artistic soul of the lake.
This street is one of the most colourful places I've ever been in my life. And the painting is just on the floor. There's people walking on it. It almost feels like you shouldn't be walking.
The streets are painted with murals, and you can even visit the stingless bee farm to taste honey straight out of the hive.
We tasted 12 honeys. It was probably a bit too much honey. And then we tasted a little honey wine as well.
Catch dinner in San Pedro at Anafres, a Mexican, Indian, Japanese fusion restaurant, and yes, it sounds weird, but this pav bhaji fondue is one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. Day 6. If you're active, then wake up at 4 a.m. for the Indian Nose sunrise hike. You can book this from any of the towns and arrange transport.
We're walking up. Can't really see anything because it's very dark.
It's short but steep, and at the top you sit with a hot chocolate watching the sunrise over the whole lake, with volcanoes appearing one by one in the light. In the afternoon, you can head to San Marcos, taking the lancha across the lake to the Bohemian corner. It's definitely a vibe. There's cacao shops, vegan cafes, and the famous Cerro nature reserve.
But you've got to pay 20 quetzales to get in.
Here you can leap 12 meters into the volcanic lake with mountains surrounding you.
That is a pretty big jump.
It's also a famous spot for yoga, so if you have time, book a class at Eagle's Nest, an iconic spot. Day 7. Get your final views of the lake and take a lancha back to Panajachel, another spot on the lake, for your shuttle back to Guatemala City for your flight. Now, this is ideal if you're flying into and out of Guatemala City. But even better, if you're coming or going to Belize in the north of Guatemala, then you could actually also fit in Flores, visiting the lost city of Tikal in the north of Guatemala. You would do this by visiting this spot first and then taking the night bus from here to Guatemala City and then following the itinerary as planned. Now, with a 10-day itinerary, you've got a bit of a choice depending on what you're into. If you want ancient history, you're going to add the lost city of Tikal in the north. And if you want nature, then visit Lanquin with its turquoise pools and greenery. I've been to both, and if I was picking one logistically, I would add Tikal into the 10 days. On day 7, after your shuttle to Guatemala City, you can either fly or take a night bus to Flores in the north of Guatemala. On day 8, you've got some time to explore Flores. Quite a picturesque small island and a hub to visit these ruins, Tikal. On day 9, you visit Tikal for sunrise. You book this as a tour, and it's one of the greatest cities of the Mayan world.
Tikal is in the high slope or the highest elevation, almost 300 meters or almost 1,000 feet up. The higher the were, the better the world.
Inhabited 2,000 years ago by over 100,000 people, you can wander the great palaces and temples and even hear the howler monkeys screaming in the distance.
That sounds crazy. I just can't believe that noise. Imagine walking through the forest at night and then just hearing that noise. I'd run.
As the sun rises through the jungle. It's real Indiana Jones vibes. To end the 10-day itinerary, either on day 9 you take a night bus back to Guatemala City, or you stay overnight and fly on day 10. With 10 days you can do either Tikal or Semuc Champey, but not comfortably both, but that depends on how you travel. With 2 weeks you can do it all at a slower pace. You can add an extra day in Antigua. This allows you to slow stroll, to eat more things, and to take it more leisurely. It's definitely a place you could spend weeks eating and sleeping. You can also spend an extra day on Lake Atitlan. This gives you the ability to split your stay across 2 places on the lake, and for a chance for you to check out free cerveza if you're backpacking.
Yeah, it's an infamous place. Everyone seems to know it. It's looking really beautiful here by the lake. Volcano and mountains in the background. Sun beating down, noises of the forest.
This is a famous hostel with free paddle boards, these crazy family dinners with free cerveza, Spanish for beer, and sunsets right on the dock. For $10, you get a 3-course meal and 1 hour of free beer, and it is one of the most fun places I've ever stayed. I've got a whole video on this place alone. After these additional days and you visit Tikal, you can cut south into the jungle to Lanquin for Semuc Champey. This is accessible via shared shuttle that you can book at any local travel agent, but it does take a day to get to. This is one of the most beautiful natural spots in the country.
You can see here where it comes, flows down all of these different steps of waterfall and then leads into the river here.
Amazing!
With turquoise limestone pools where the river disappears underground. Hike up to El Mirador viewpoint, swim in the pools, and in Lanquin you can float the river tubing with new friends.
Floating downstream in this village in the middle of Guatemala.
Make sure you catch sunset at Zephyr Lodge. Here's what the 14-day itinerary looks like. Day 1 to 3 in Antigua, Day 4 to 5 hiking Acatenango, Day 5 afternoon travelling back to Lake Atitlan, because you get back early from the hike and the shuttles run late. Day 6 exploring San Pedro and sleeping in San Pedro. Day 7 early morning Indian nose hike and exploring San Juan nearby via tuk-tuk before taking the lancha to Fuerteventura. Day 8 just being at Fuerteventura and visiting San Marcos, which is near there on a lancha. Day 9, you've got a morning at Fuerteventura with an evening shuttle to Guatemala City and then a night bus or flight to Flores. Day 10, exploring the little island of Flores and some chill time after what has been a lot of travelling. Day 11, exploring Tikal by sunrise for the day. Day 12, travelling to Lanquin and having an evening in Lanquin. Day 13, visiting Semuc Champey, seeing and swimming in the pools and tubing in the Lanquin River. And day 14 is a day of travelling back to Guatemala City. That is the ultimate Guatemala itinerary. And if you follow this, I promise you will have the best time. And if you don't, I will give you your money back for this video. Oh, wait, you didn't pay for this video? Well, the least you can do is subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more about any of these spots in more detail, I've almost definitely got a whole video about it. Drop any comments below, and peace.